Look alive, ladies and gentlemen. That is a very vacation house look alive that we just did right there. I am AK from the Millie Goats. We're in a low voice uh type of show right now because I am on vacation. We are in the vacation house. I'm in an open area, and that's okay because the show must go on. Everybody knows. We talked about it last night. So we're not going to make this very long at all. Um, but we are going to talk some football because we had Monday Night Football happen. And I, for one, hand up. There's a short going around on the internet somewhere that says that the Lions were going to get blown out by the Ravens. May or may not have been from our show, allegedly, but definitely said that the Lions were going to get blown out by the Ravens. And this, I don't really know. I don't I think this was more of a coaching clinic for the Lions and their coordinators than it was for also shout out the defensive coordinator for the Lions. He's got the giant logo on his play call sheet. Power move because most everybody, I mean, you don't really see a lot of logos on the back of play sheets anymore. Uh, so you kudos to that guy. What's that guy's? I want to talk to his um uh hold on. Yeah, Lions defense. It's Kelvin Shepard. That's right. Kelvin Shepard. He was the linebackers coach. That's right. Anyway, shout out Kelvin Shepard, wearing the 5 panel hat, got the and got the team logo on the back of his play call sheet. Absolutely spectacular. As is tradition, ladies and gentlemen, when we watch football games, we take notes. Uh, again, it's one of my favorite things to do is to sit there and just jot down thoughts, jot down what we see, all kinds of stuff. But let me just tell you this right now: vacation is going great. I still have the tank top on, getting a tan. We've caught multiple, I mean, tons of Spanish mackerel right out of the ocean. And we have filleted those Spanish mackerels, and we're going to have a fish fry. Uh, so the Lions win 38-30, and it was close late because the Ravens scored a late touchdown to Mark Andrews. Also, shout out Mark Andrews for finally getting in the game plan, but it feels like they focus way too much on that. But the first quarter, um, we had and also shout out I don't know if the Lions and the Ravens coordinated this, um, but they had the all whites and the all blacks. I wonder if they had something to do with that. So you got to pick a side there, obviously. Um, but in the first quarter, we ended up 7-7, right? Jameer Gibbs, dude. Okay, thoughts from the Lions. First of all, great job by Kelvin Shepard. 7 sacks for the Lions, 0 for the Ravens. So the 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 Lions up front on both sides of the ball were dominant. To get 7 sacks, to not allow a sack, and then to run the football for what 230 yards or whatever it was, absolutely insane. So the Lions come down 11 plays, 67 yards, touchdown, Jameer Gibbs. Derrick Henry then gets his touchdown, 6 plays, 80 yards. So we've got a heavyweight battle going here early. Heavyweight battle, absolutely spectacular. Um, that was pretty much the end of the first quarter. The second quarter is when it starts to get crazy. Um, you know, Derrick Henry looking good. They of course they always do the how fast did somebody go, and the speedometer above their head, this and that. Um, but you know, the, so the first quarter is pretty good. I'm looking over here at the standings though. The NFC North, 2-1. Everybody with the Bears, and then in the AFC North, you've got you've got the Browns and the Ravens tied 1-2. You can't feel good about this if you're a Ravens fan. I mean, they were a Super Bowl favorite. You know what I mean? Super Bowl favorite, the Ravens. Um, Lamar, I don't, the Lions had him cooked today. It was a very interesting scheme too, because usually against Lamar or any type of quarterback that has the ability to run, um, you don't see people get upfield too far. But it looked like the Lions were actually aggressively getting upfield and just leaving two people back for when he stepped up in the pocket. What they didn't want him to do, it looked like they didn't want him to get outside where he could run and strafe the line there, the line of scrimmage. So, but that's pretty much all we had for quarter one. Quarter two, this was wild, guy. Like, ladies and gentlemen, this was freaking. First of all, I started noticing in the second quarter that Detroit was running the power I, like tight end, David Montgomery, Jameer Gibbs, two tights, like just bully ball. If you're a Ravens fan, how do you feel about getting absolutely waxed up front? Like, this was supposed to be one of the best rosters in football, so we were told. Um, but the Ravens, the Lions get in that powerful Irene, and they go 18 plays, 98 yards on an 11-minute drive, touchdown 14-7. Then you get the what's let's see, that was okay, that's right, that's right. So in the second quarter, play of the game, right? Like, didn't really think like it mattered that much the 18 play, 98-yard drive from the Lions. The ensuing kickoff, Jake Bates should get game ball because he made a touchdown saving tackle on Ali. Like, that changed the trajectory of the game because the um I know the Ravens ended up scoring, but um that led to a goal line stand after that, after he had the touchdown saving tackle. But the Ravens ended up scoring with 24 seconds left. Um, but still, Jake Bates marked that down. That was a possession where there was a turnover on downs. It could have been easily 14-14, and the Ravens have 21-14. So, but I, um, so that was the second quarter. But I forgot about that tackle by Jake Bates, and then the Ravens ended up getting stonewalled. Um, on the fourth down on that same drive. Um, and then in the third quarter, like, the touchdown or the drive where the Ravens took the lead, it was a pass to Mark Andrews, 14-yard pass, 11 plays, 73 yards. um, the Ravens, I don't know what they were doing in the red zone today. I don't they got stopped on fourth down, and then they tried to go for it on fourth down again, and they let Derrick Henry throw a pass. And then Troy Aikman's in the booth saying he's got to go through his progressions. It's like, dude, this is Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is not a quarterback. Um, Derrick Henry is not going to go through his progressions. He gets the toss and is looking for, I think, Rashad Bateman, and he almost throws a pick. But before that, there were Lamar Jackson had, or maybe he had one pick that should have been an interception that got dropped by the Lions. So the Ravens just overall did not look that great. Their red zone presence was terrible too. Like, if I'm a Ravens fan, I'm sitting here with two questions. I'm like, where is my defense, and what are we doing in the red zone? Like, why can't we punch it in the red zone? And if I'm a Lions fan, that's two games in a row. They beat the Bears, and then they beat the Ravens, where defensively they gave up a lot of points, but it seemed like they were able to contain. They never bend don't break, I guess whatever you want to call it. And then later the Lions had David Montgomery on a long that long run, and it just looked like that the Lions had a plan on their interior run game. I can't remember what play they were running, but it looked like they were running some sort of inside counter or inside zone or something, where the two guards in the center for the Lions were absolutely pummeling the interior line for the interior defensive line for the Ravens. Like, they were ripping off inside runs left and right all over the field. Dave Montgomery looked like he was back at Iowa State. It was incredible. And then you get the Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown from Jared Goff. The fourth quarter, another Oh, I think this is when the long run was. Yeah, that was the long run was right before the 4th quarter, um, started, and then you got the Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown. They went on another 90 they had 2 drives that were 95 plus yards. Absolutely insane by the Lions. I don't I thought the Lions just didn't when they lost their center, they had to rebuild their offensive line. Their defensive line's in shambles too. Aiden Hutchinson's the only one remaining. That Muhammad guy was all over the place, for the Lions. Um, I just didn't think they had it in them to go on the road and just basically bully the Ravens. But, um, so they had another 90-yard drive, long run by Montgomery to end the quarter, and then when they get in the red zone, they run a little reverse to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jared Goff has the ball pointed upward, so Amon-Ra St. Brown can grab it, and then he pitches it to Jahmyr Gibbs, who runs in for the touchdown, 28-21. So just, when you thought Ben Johnson left, you thought the creativity, was gonna be gone, but that was a nifty little play by the Lions. I mean, I was honestly I don't know if I was more I guess here's the question that our First Take's gonna be asking. Is this a Was this a more emphatic win for the Lions, or was this more concerning loss for the Ravens? Go ahead and check that whenever they talk about Get Up, um, and First Take and all the shows, the debate shows. Did it mean more to the Lions or more to the Ravens? What did you take away from it? And to me, I didn't expect the Lions to be able to go on the road and do that, but I also was very disappointed in the Ravens for how terribly their defense was. They're supposed to have a really good defense. I don't know what happened. Um, then you get the field goal by Loop, which was also questionable. Like, are you kidding me? I was talking to the guy I was watching with this. Shout out Tim. That they didn't know whether the field goal was 100% certain good. Like, you're telling me that we have the technology to make virtual chain gangs, and we can make robot umpires, yet we can't figure out if a field goal goes directly over the upright. Like, that's bull jive as far as I'm concerned. Absolute nonsense. Figure out how to see if a field goal is good or not. Do it. Um, and then that's when the wheels came off for the Ravens. Derrick Henry for the second time fumbles late. Complete debauchery. Aiden Hutchinson, the hammer of Thor, right down on the forearm of Derrick Henry. Fumble. And then the Lions go for it on 4th down on that ensuing drive on 4th and 1 from the 50, and Jared Goff drops an absolute dime right in the bucket. Marlon Humphreys was trying to hold. If he didn't, it would have been a touchdown. And then Dave Montgomery ends up 31-yard rush, house call, and then the Ravens get a garbage time TV. So again, big takeaways. I don't understand the Ravens' red zone attempts. I don't understand how they can't get any pressure on the quarterback. I don't understand why Derrick Henry's fumbling all of a sudden. He never used to fumble. Um, Maybe grow your dreads back out. Maybe try to change it up. Was he in black uniforms both times he fumbled? Maybe don't wear those again. Maybe go to purple. I don't know. Um, uh, he was flipping a tire in a commercial and like carrying a refrigerator. Maybe don't do any more commercials, Derrick Henry. I'm just looking for options here, dude. Um, but yeah, so the Lions, huge win for them. Dan Campbell, like right out of the gate. I think they almost entice you to go. Like if you're the opposing team, like Dan Campbell comes out of the gate on their first drive, boom, we're going for it on 4th down. Not even a hesitation. Ravens try to do it like once or twice. They don't even get it. They start running Derrick Henry halfback passes or whatever. So I don't know what they were doing. But I feel like when you play the Lions and they're going for it on 4th down, it's almost like whenever you're playing golf with your buddies and it's like, oh, you think that you can take out your driver on this hole that says you probably shouldn't hit driver because it's a dog leg left, and the only way to hit your driver is if you go over the trees. And your buddy's like, I'm hitting my driver, and he goes over the trees, and you're standing there on the tee box, and you're like, well, if my buddy can do it, I can't. I mean, I've got to hit my driver, and then you heel it straight 90 degrees straight into the woods. Like, that's what the Lions do to you. They make you think you have to go for it because they're trying to eke out every single opportunity they can when they have the football in their hands. So Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was unfortunate. Not exactly sure what happened there, but we're gonna call it. Um, Lions win 38-30. Uh, Lost internet there on the vacation home, so appreciate you sticking it out if you did stick it out. Quickly for the team's stats. Um, Again, the big difference was third down efficiency. They were about the same. Total plays, the Lions had about 12 more total plays. They had 100, about 100 more yards. Passing was about the same, just over 200 for both of them. Rushing, the Lions 224 yards rushing. In the red zone, the Lions were 4 for 5. The Raiders were 2 for 4. Penalties, the Lions had way more penalties. And then time of possession, the Lions won by about 7. And then the fumble was the only one that they lost. So, um, anyways, uh, that's it. I mean, Monday Night Football in the books, Week 3 NFL in the books. That's all we can say for that. Um, but anyways, we'll be back Wednesday night. Internet hopefully holds out for us. But in the meantime, go and check out all of our social medias. Here's Bebo says no days off. Dude, my internet just went out at the vacation house. So there's like 7 minutes of complete missed audio. So, hey, but before that, we were cooking. So we don't know what we're going to do with that audio. Might have to get it into a software and cut it. Maybe we'll be able to do that. We'll figure it out. But guess what? Yeah, you're right. No days off, dude. We'll see everybody Wednesday. Thank you for the for tuning in with the technical difficulties there. Oh, huge week of college football. I was looking at those games. Huge week of college football. Everybody enjoy. Go Niners.